Lecture topic: Height of Destruction.
Hazrat Nu'man bin Bashir radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was a Sahabi of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and this is his statement. Obviously, Sahaba radiallahu anhu ajma'in, having been in the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the understanding that they derived, we cannot get anywhere close to a fraction of it. And they understood the spirit of Shariat, understood the deeper and inner meanings of things. And therefore, sometimes something is presented as their statement, but their statement is what they have fully understood as being what the spirit of Deen is, and what is the deeper message in the Quran Sharif, in the Ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So in one statement he says, Innal halakata kullal halaka an ta'amala bisu fi zamanil bala. That this is the height of drawing down destruction upon oneself. In other words, somebody is, they say, he's creating some trouble for himself. Somebody is creating big trouble for himself. Somebody is actually bringing about him the worst kind of destruction upon himself. Now, how this comes and what is the form and manner of it, that is something we should never ever trivialize. Well, I don't see anything happening to me. Allah Ta'ala protect us and save us. He is saying that this is the worst thing that a person can do. He will draw down the worst level of destruction upon himself. Innal halaka kullal halaka. This is utter destruction, total destruction. That a person, he keeps sinning even when there is a calamity. There is a calamity, there is general difficulty, hardship. Sometimes it might be, for example, there's a flood somewhere, thousands of people are affected. There's an earthquake somewhere. What we are witnessing currently, there's a pandemic where people haven't experienced something like this in their life. Now, a person is seeing all around him what's going on, hearing about it, but all that hasn't shaken his heart and shaken him of sin. And he's still carrying on his life like nothing happened in terms of his wrong actions. He hasn't made tawbah from it. He's still unconcerned about what's going on around him. Sin, whether there is no problem at all in terms of any calamity, tragedy, any personal difficulty, even then, sin is an extremely dangerous thing. Because Allah Ta'ala's mercy, His clemency, His tolerance, that when a person does something immediately, Allah Ta'ala doesn't send any azab. Allah Ta'ala gives respite, servant will take heed, he will make tawbah, he'll come back. But when the signs are all around and a person still doesn't take heed, and a person still carries on like nothing's happening. So Nu'man bin Bashir says that a person conducting himself in this way, he is on a very, very dangerous path. And Allah forbid when the consequences of this can fall upon him. Now this is a time to be very careful about, forget what we do, even what we deliberately engage our hearts and minds in. Something to be very, very careful about. It's a time to turn our hearts, our minds, our actions, our words, everything towards Allah Ta'ala, in the sense that what we are going to be able to receive Allah Ta'ala's blessings with. What is going to draw down His mercy. Turn in all humility to Allah Ta'ala, beg for ourselves, beg for the entire ummah. So this is a time to become not just more conscious, to become super conscious. Not just alert, but to become super alert in terms of our own actions, our own deeds, our own intentions. What are we planning? What are we doing? What are we looking at? What are we listening to? What are we speaking? And what's deliberately being, our hearts and minds being engaged in. These are all things we have to become very alert about and keep making istighfar, as we discussed yesterday. Keep making tawbah, beg Allah Ta'ala's forgiveness. Whatever mistakes might have happened in the past, we sincerely make 2 rakats, 4 rakats, salatul tawbah, beg Allah Ta'ala's forgiveness and help, and very sincerely repent with deep remorse and regret, and be very cautious about every step that we take. Every step is extremely crucial. When a person is walking on very slippery ground, then he is very careful about how he puts each step. When these are the kind of conditions that we are seeing around us, this is now treading on slippery ground in terms of our personal self, what kind of actions we do, what kind of things we get involved in. So we should become very, very conscious and keep making istighfar, tawbah, keep begging Allah Ta'ala's forgiveness, increase our amal, and be far, far away from anything that Allah Ta'ala is displeased with. Allah Ta'ala gives.
अल्लाह अल्लाह कैसा प्यारा नाम है, आशिकों का मीना और जाम है।